morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Today we are going to be making some very cool, quick and easy fingerless gloves, and they will take no time at all. So you can do this in an afternoon if you're going out and it's chilly, or if you just want them for around the house. So yeah, it's going to take you no time at all. I hand dyed this myself, so it was just a fun little project that I thought we could do together, or you can do whenever you have a chance. And yeah, it doesn't take a lot of time, and also it doesn't take a lot of yarn as well. And these are great little gifts, so you can also make them in just a solid color, and you can use whatever yarn. This is wool, but you can use acrylic is good because it has a little bit more stretch than this does, and if you want sort of a softer feel, then probably go with an acrylic or a cotton, just something that's going to be, or nylon, so it will have a little bit of stretch to it. So we're going to begin right away. So just grab your yarn, so whatever yarn you're using, and I'm going to be using a 5mm hook, but obviously don't use a small one, so use between a 4 and a 5.5, depending on how big you want the stitches to look, but I'm using a 5 for now. And also you'll need some scissors and a sewing needle that is important to have just to connect everything, and then that's basically it. So let's begin. And oh, just another thing too, depending on how long you want these, that's going to determine your chain, because you're going to start with a chain. Now I like my fingerless gloves a little bit longer, but some people like them quite short. So if you want it closer to your wrist, say maybe here, then if I fold this up, another thing too is you can, if you make it longer, you can always fold it up like that. So if you want it just this short, then you'll have to basically just do less chains. So because I like them longer, I made mine 70. I made a chain of 36 plus 1. So basically it's 36, but you can make yours, if you want yours sort of this length, then make your chain roughly 30. So go, if you want it smaller, then make it about 30. So you can just play it by ear as well and kind of measure as you go if you're making it for yourself. But yes, so between 30 and 36 depending on the length. So I started with a chain of 36. That's 20. Now, if you are a beginner, make sure that you're not making your chains too tight. So make sure that you're leaving a little bit of room and making it loose. Like that. Okay, so that's 36, and I'm going to chain one more just so you can see the pretty rainbow here. Ooh, look at that. So I chain one more, and that is my 37th, and that's basically so that it's your next chain, or sorry, that kind of bumps you up to row number 2. So you're already on row number 2. So in each chain, space, you do a single crochet. So just do that all the way across. So you go into, not this first one here, excuse my nails, I know I have to fix them, I know they're a disgrace, but so this loop around your hook doesn't count. The one beside it, it doesn't count either. So go into the next one and do a single crochet. And then into the next one and all the way across, do single crochet stitches. So when you've done that, I'll meet you back at the end. And so if you had 36, you'll have 36 stitches. If you had 30, you'll have 30 stitches. Oh, also my hands are also like a mess of a color because I've been dyeing yarn, and obviously when you're doing this sort of stuff, sometimes it gets all over you. But I will endeavor to make sure I'm more presentable. Okay, so I'll meet you back at the end of the row. Hello, welcome back. So this is what your first row should look like, something like this. Basically, it's very straightforward. So that's row number 1. Now we're going to do row number 2, and this is the same thing that you do for all of the rows. So row 2 is basically your repeat. So you chain 1 and turn your work, and then into, okay, so we've chained 1, we turned our work, now we're going to go into this first stitch here, but not into both. See at the top here how there's 2 loops here, you're just going into the back loop. So this is the front loop, that is the back loop. So you're going into the back loop and you're doing a single crochet. And into the next one, it's the back loop. Into the next one, it is the back loop. And into the next one, it's the back loop. So that is what you're doing all the way across. You're going into the back loops all the way across with a single crochet stitch, and that is as simple as it is. So keep doing that, and I'll meet you back when you're done row 2. Okay, we are back. Your project will look something like this. It will have kind of a row that's sticking out, and then the row behind. Now just make sure that you're always going into that final stitch on the end that doesn't really look like one. So you'll always have the same amount of stitches, so it will be 36 across, or 30, or whatever number you've chosen. Okay, so for row number 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, for the rest of the rows, it's the same as row number 2. So you do your chain 1, turn your work, and then into the back row, you're doing a single crochet. And all the way across, it's just into the back row. And that basically is how you get the ribbed stitch here. So it's not flat, kind of has the 3D effect. So just continue along like that until you have, if you've done this length, I would do 32 rows. So you're on row 3, so keep going and do another 29 rows. So I will meet you back when you're done and you have a little rectangle. So keep going and we'll meet you back. Okay, so this is kind of the size that you're going to be looking for, I'm just going to measure it for you. So I have 32 rows here. So when you fold it, it looks quite narrow, but you kind of want it like that because you want it to stretch. You don't want it too loose to begin with because it's going to stretch when you're wearing it anyways. So the width of this is about, here I'll put it this way so you can see instead of upside down. So about 2.5 inches on each side. Okay, so yeah, just over, this one is just over 5 inches. So almost 5.5. And again, the length is quite long. You don't have to make yours this long unless you want to fold it up like I did with that one and make a little cuff. And so this measures about 8 inches across. Okay, so that's basically what it should look like. It's got the ribbed effect. So all we have to do now is you can fasten your yarn off, but leave a long tail. So you'll use this for sewing. So you can fasten it off like that. And then grab your needle, and hope that didn't sound like I was slurping. Okay, so you're going to fold your rectangle in half like that, if you can see. Let me just turn it down there. How about that? So it kind of looks very neon here, doesn't it? I hope you can see that okay. So just kind of line it up. So just go through the front and the back to connect this bottom piece here, and then go into every stitch, but just go into the front loop of this one and the back piece and pull your yarn through, and then you're just going to weave. So you go back through the next stitch here, through the back loop and the front loop of the next one. So you're just climbing all the way across. So then you go into the next one, but just the front, and then the back of the other one. And keep going up or down, whatever direction you're going in. So you're going across and stitching that. Now at the top, where you're going to be creating a hole, you're going to have I would do at least an inch, leave an inch at the top. So that's going to be connected at the top here to about here. Now if you need to put stitch markers in just to remember, then you can do that too. So this will be the beginning of your hole. Now to make the hole, again, you don't want your, like, I'll just show you on this, you don't want your hole too small because then it will be really, really tight around your thumb. So there's you need some room for that. So I made this one just for me, but for if you're just making it as a gift, or generally I would make it at least almost 2.5. Make your hole about 2.5 inches. So just when I start to get to the purple is where I will stop. So just keep going across, and you can always try it on as you go just to see and make sure that it feels right. Even if you're giving it away, you still want it to feel right on you, and you'll be able to tell if it's uncomfortable and if it's too tight. So just continue along, back and forth, kind of weaving and sewing your way across the just weaving your way across the project. So I'm almost at the purple bit here, and then I will just show you. Now you can always work your way back down if you want to reinforce your stitches. So once you get the top, then you just come back down, and just to make it a little bit more firm, if that would make you feel more comfortable. Now also make sure you're not pulling these stitches too tight, because then it will just kind of look like it's all snagged and it'll look a little bit sloppy. So now I think from here I'm going to leave the hole. So to do that, you just work your way up, but don't go through to the other side with your needle. Just stick your needle through just very shallow along, not too long. You don't want to go all the way across, so just a little bit, and pull your yarn through. Don't pull it too tight. And then you keep going and you do that again, nice and shallow, so that it doesn't show up on the side that you'll flip it over inside out and it will be the right side. So keep going until you either kind of estimate or you have your stitch marker where there's about an inch or so left. Make sure you get all that. Okay, so when you've reached that, you can take your stitch marker out if you have one in, and then you continue. So just make sure you've lined up your ends here and just continue. So through the back loop through the front loop of the first one, back loop of the second one, and just weave your way up. And like I said, if you feel more comfortable by reinforcing the stitches by going back through them all the way down, then you can do that, and it'll give it a more firm hold. You won't have to worry about it splitting. So then when you get to the bottom, just knot your last stitch and you can fasten it off and leave a little bit of space to weave that in. Then flip your work inside out, and there is, whoops, so excited I knocked the camera. There is your glove, your fingerless glove. And so yes, there it's a little bit longer. Again, if you would like to make it shorter, then do that, or you can always fold it up for a nice little cuff. But if you're using thick yarn, then it might be too puffy. But yeah, so that's it. Make sure you enjoy yourself, have fun, make lots of projects, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.